There is something very intriguing about that interview Daniel Bwala had, that humiliation ritual that happened to him in the UK. And I tried to pick the subtle messaging that he came to pass. And it's important we debunk it now, as it's standing, as early as possible. Because if we don't, it becomes mainstream. It becomes a normalized narrative. Daniel Bwala kept saying this.
Well, he used to be in the APC, then he was in the opposition, now he's back in the APC, and he doesn't remember anything he said when he was in the opposition.
And I think the crucial context here is Nigerian politics is ideology free.
Yes.
Right? There's no left or right, as it were. It's mostly, unfortunately, about, people call it stomach infrastructure in Nigeria.
First of all, I left him after the primaries because he made a choice of a Muslim ticket. And I thought at the time that would be injurious to the interests of the Christian minorities.
You heard him. The Christian minority. The Christian minority. What do you mean by the Christian minority? Are you talking about the Christian minority in the north or the Christian minority in Nigeria? He was not explicit with that Christian minority. So it's important we put context to it, because he was a man of saying no context. Let me now put context to it for Nigerians and for the world to understand where we stand as a country. There is no Christian minority in Nigeria except in the northwestern part of the country and northeastern part of the country. Every other part of the country, the Christians are in majority. Very important, I say this again. There is no Christian minority in the country except in the northwestern part of the country and northeastern part of the country. In every other part of the country, the Christians are in the majority. When you come to the north central, the Christians are in the majority. Across Plateau State, Nasarawa State, Benue State, Kogi State, Kwara State, Niger State. In Niger, in Kwara, in Kogi, you can say maybe 50-50 or 60-40. When you come to the southeastern part of the country, the Christians and the traditionalists make up 99% of the populace. When you come to the southern part of the country, the Christians and the traditionalists make up at least 96% of the populace. When you come to the southwestern part of the country, the Christians and traditionalists make up at least 70% or 80% of the populace. So there is no Christian minority in Nigeria. That the Christians have been foolish enough not to be engaged in political debates, putting their head into politics, hereby they have championed a season whereby we can have a Muslim president and a Muslim vice president, doesn't negate the facts that we do not have a Christian minority country. It is all fallacy. It is a lie that should not be allowed to stand. Very important to put this message out there for the world to listen. That we have a Muslim president today, and that you hear people like the Turkey president say that Nigeria is an Islamic state. It doesn't mean that Nigeria has a majority Muslim populace. It is a lie. It is a lie. Because even if you go to the core northern part of the country, when you talk about Borno, there's southern Borno that is predominantly Christians. In fact, where you see all this Boko Haram crisis happening today, it's happening mostly part of southern Borno that are predominantly Christians. Like the same Daniel Bwala, this crazy man, he's from southern Borno in a predominantly Christian enclave. So it is important we put this context. It is very important this message passes out there and reaches the end of the earth. There is no Christian minority in Nigeria except he's saying the Christian minority in his state or in his region, which is acceptable. But you don't throw such word in an open field, in an open air, without putting in context for a man that was complaining or saying the interviewer was not applying context to the questions they're asking him, and allow it fly. I just had to bring it out here for Nigerians. So please, important with messaging. Thank you.